Thank you, Danai. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is, unlike my good friends Miltiadis and Eva, this is my first time, and it's a great honor to be here, and I hope that in the future we'll have to talk more about innovation, because ports, as you all very well know, is where innovation has been happening forever. Miltiadis and Eva are very hard acts to follow. They're both very knowledgeable and very good speakers. And it is also sometimes hard to follow their policies, which they regulate in the Greek and the European Parliament, and make them happen on the local level, make them happen on the ground, which is the job of the local authority. Most of you, being familiar with the Port of Piraeus and the city of Piraeus, must realize that there is not really much that the city of Piraeus has to do with the Port of Piraeus. It has been a very rigid separation of authorities, which is now beginning to shift. However, what we can, as a municipal authority, we have a very simple and single overarching goal during our tenure, and this is to try to reverse the extreme unemployment levels that exist today in the city of Piraeus. Piraeus has over 30% of unemployment, which makes it one of the highest unemployment rates in Europe, which then again makes it one of the highest unemployment rates in the developed world. For us, and I'm sure for everybody in this room, the road to development comes through the sea, by the sea, for the sea, and from the sea. And one of the few avenues that the city has available to influence the economic development is the support of innovation, of new companies, of youth entrepreneurship, and so on and so forth. And I'm saying this is one of the few avenues because this is one of the few funds, public investment funds available to a local authority. And I'm talking mostly about structural funds from the European Union. So I was asked to speak about innovation in ports, and that's what I'm going to do, talking about past, present, and future innovation in the Port of Piraeus. Piraeus was actually built around a maritime innovation, which was the trireme. It was decided by the Athenian city to build the Port of Piraeus, which meant constructing the port facilities for hosting about 300 of those, not about, actually 300 of these ships, which meant building 120 100-meter long and 8-meter high sheds to pull them out, meant building the first and largest building in ancient Greece, which was a logistics center, the Skevotheki of Philon. And most of all, it meant the innovation of giving the people who rowed the boats, actually 60,000 people, the right of citizenship for the first time in the Athenian democracy, and thereby creating the first actual proletariat, people who have the vote by the sweat of their bodies, and completely changing Athenian democracy. So besides the maritime being the fastest boat on the water, it was a huge port innovation and port development. A few centuries later, Piraeus became the center of the Industrial Revolution in Greece. Piraeus was redesigned according to neoclassical principles in the 19th century to host basically the Industrial Revolution in Greece. Piraeus was the port where, the place in Greece where we had the first railroads, the first bicycles, the first and best football clubs, and we ended up until World War II. Piraeus was producing about 65% of Greek industrial output. Another maritime innovation that is very important for this room, and this is a picture from the Liberty ship, one of the two surviving Liberty boats that is now a museum in the port of Piraeus. A fantastic maritime innovation, the first ship built by mass construction, by mass production, put together during World War II to allow the Allies to bring supplies to Europe, and those boats became the core of the modern Greek shipping miracle. Another innovation which we don't often realize is, because these were innovations that really helped the Port of Piraeus to grow, some innovations Piraeus hasn't responded so well. One of them was the cargo revolution, which arrived in the 80s in the Port of Piraeus and completely uprooting the port economy of Piraeus, which was based around bulk shipping, bulk cargo. So Piraeus was a bit late to respond to the cargo revolution. It's, you know better than me that it's a very different thing to unload a boat by hand and manage the cargo by hand, as opposed to having a cargo box being lifted out of the ship and removed in about 6 or 8 hours. So this we didn't handle very well. We had loads of dock workers which had to seek otherwise employment, and I think it's the time where we are catching up with that, with the fabulous investment that was made by SEBO. Another innovation that Piraeus didn't handle well was the internet, because like Danai said, Aktimiaouli was a place which it was buzzing. However, now in the time of electronic communications, ship owners do not have to be on Aktimiaouli to exchange information and find out about boats and ships and prices. They can do it in their offices, which are much nearer to their homes and not having to go through Piraeus. So innovation, cuts both ways. You have to catch the wave if you want to be part of it. In Piraeus now we have COSCO, which is operating the whole port, and we are very, even though we're not exactly it's not exactly our plan the way it happened, but nevertheless we're extremely happy to have COSCO, a huge international company with a strategic plan of global importance. Piraeus is one of the few assets in Greece that have a global importance, a global place in the global economy. So we expect a lot from this new development. Another opportunity for Piraeus coming up is what is called an integrated territorial investment, which is our job, which is, in very short, a new way for cities and urban centers to invest in sustainable urban development. And we hope that by the next few months we will be able to announce final investments to the tune of about 100 million euros in 3 areas, which is developing the quality of life in the city, developing the competitiveness of the city, and supporting social measures due to the unemployment. So this is something that's going to be happening in the next months. And this is to say that Piraeus is now one of the few places in Greece where you have actual and a lot of investment. The tram and metro lines are investments that are upwards of €250 million and are going to change the communication abilities of the port. COSCO is planning to invest more of €250 million. We are going to invest more than €100 million in infrastructure and skills. And this is what you're seeing is the newly announced real estate development of a very symbolic and strategic part of the city, Naios Dionysios. This is the old Papastratos building, which is the symbol of the Greek industry, is now being redeveloped to house a campus of offices and labs and maybe a few houses, leading towards the complete redevelopment of the whole Naios Dionysios district. So now, Bluegrowth is, of course, a long-term strategy by the European Union to support economic development around the sea, from the sea and to the sea. It's now being calculated roughly at 4.5 million jobs and almost $500 million worth a year. Of course, it is very difficult to agree on what exactly somebody is counting in that. However, it has 3 pillars. One should be understood as transport, including shipping, ports, and logistics. Another part is understood as maritime tourism and recreation, and another part has to do with the use of raw materials from the sea, including fishing, energy, and also some seabed mining. So Bluegrowth, as a European strategy, aims to funnel investment into research and job creation in the maritime economy. Bluegrowth in Piraeus is the first competition to support young people to produce new companies in the maritime sector. And this has been going on for the past couple of years in the city of Piraeus. In these 2 years, we're very happy to have incubated about 15 new companies, which is not a small feat in the current crisis economy, and not a small feat given that this has been happening with the support of Piraeus maritime community and not a public investment yet. We look forward in the future to utilize the public investment available as part of integrated territorial investment to really scale this thing up. In the past 2 years, we have been very fortunate to work with this community here and create what is the most important component of innovation, which is the human ecosystem. It's the human relationships, the avenues, the networks, the avenues of information of people interested in understanding innovation and ready to support entrepreneurship. Piraeus has chosen to brand itself and follow a strategy of supporting innovation simply in the maritime economy. It has been really fast to do so. So now there are two such centers in Europe. One is in Piraeus, and recently there is one in Rotterdam. So sometimes when you do something faster than the Dutch, you know you're doing something in the right time. Finally, the future holds the utilization of the public investment money to give to this human network a physical space, and not only a physical space, but we aim to create what used to be a 19th century industrial workshop to a 21st century industrial workshop. That means that we don't only want to be doing soft services in terms of mentoring and networking to young startups. We want to give them the tools to follow the fourth industrial revolution. We want to give them the tools to be active in the areas of 3D printing, of additive manufacturing, rapid prototyping, and all the tools that a maritime port would need in the coming century. This is also very likely to happen, and hopefully our friends at Brussels will also help us to facilitate that. But this has grown also to become a public-private partnership with the industry, and this is something that I hope to be able to present in the next Navigator conference, should Danai would have me again. Thank you very much, and have a productive day.